Okay, welcome to Power 30, everyone. I'm excited to be on today because it's a special day for me and my family. It's my husband and I's 4-year anniversary. And so that's a big deal. And I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about. And I thought, well, I wonder if I could relate anything about marriage and plexus. And then it just kind of hit me yesterday, and I was thinking about how there's so many analogies between a marriage and the business that we do. And when we think about when we're in this Plexus business, it's truly a commitment. It's not something that you wake up one day and you roll over and look at your husband and you don't like him that day. Like, you can't just leave. He's your husband. And the same thing with the business. There's days where you might wake up and think, I don't really want to do this today. But it's truly a commitment, like you would think of a marriage. You're in it for the long haul, and there's good days and there's bad days. And um, even in even in a marriage, there's good days and bad days. And like for us, there was 2020 was hard for us. It was stressful, and there was a lot of just tension in our house. And it wasn't necessarily anybody, like nobody's fault. But the thing that I think that we've learned through 2020 as a husband and wife team and parents is that when the times get hard and you go through difficult situations, that you lean into the hard. Um, you don't back away from it. So for us, that meant that we had to communicate more, understand, like, there was a lot of anxiety in our house and we had to talk through all of this stuff, and we couldn't just brush it off. And so there's times in our business where things get hard, and it'd be easier to just like, walk away one day. Like for example, I don't think I had one person show up last night, but I didn't have any new people show up. I could have just been like, you know what, I don't think I'll even log on to the call because my people I invited couldn't make it. But you don't walk away, you don't give up, you stick with it, you keep showing up. And when the times get hard, you keep going, you keep leaning in, and you work through it. Because I think that definitely in a marriage for sure, and in business, but if you just kind of lean back and you let it all take over, it won't work out in your favor. You just have to keep, I guess the best way I think of it is leaning in. And even in marriage, like in the beginning, you're still learning about each other. My husband moved into my house and already had 3 kids, and we already had, like, that was my house, and we already did things our way. And so it was just, the beginning was a lot of learning and understanding each other. And I think that there's a learning curve as you get through the business, and it gets easier, and it gets fun, and such a good experience. But the thing that kind of, like, the light bulb moment I had, that I was like, oh, I got to share this with you guys. Our wedding, I was thinking about our wedding. So it was 4 years ago today, and it was like, I would describe it as like a real life fairy tale. It was just beautiful. We got married in a glass chapel. And so here's, I don't know if you can see that. There's a picture of our wedding. So it was in Bella Vista, Arkansas. And it was like everything you could imagine, all the stuff that, like, my dress, like, I made my dress and it kind of looked like a princess, and I had a tiara, and the glass chapel. One of my little nieces was calling me Elsa because thought I was the princess. And it was just, everything was just so, like, perfect and beautiful. And so I don't know, that when I look back on it, I just remember all of these wonderful memories. But there was this one part. So this picture, I'm gonna see if I can show it better. But the glass chapel, it's at the top of the hill, at the, like, into this sidewalk, kind of at the bottom of the hill is the building where the bride and the bridesmaids get ready. And so I was there with my sister and sister-in-law and my husband's daughter, and we were getting ready. And it's time for us to go up to the church. And so we're going up, and I think I was just so excited and anxious and like nervous and like the jitters and it was a good nervous. It was just like, I don't know, like one of those like when good stuff happens, if you aren't a little nervous, then that's weird, right? I guess. So um I was going, we were walking up and everybody was in front of me. It's a hill, a little bit of a slope. And I get to one point and I like have a anxiety attack. I'm like, stop. And I couldn't hardly breathe. I catch my breath and I'm standing there and I have to get to the top of the hill to get to the chapel. And my sister-in-law um, kind of looks at me and talks me through it and explains like how, I don't know, she gives me this talk and it wasn't like a bad anxiety. It was like a good, like, I'm so excited, but anxious. And I don't know, I just remember that like actually as like a happy moment because I was so into the whole experience. And what I what I was thinking back on is um, I was so thankful that she was there to talk me through getting up the hill. She talked about her brother, my husband, like how we're there for each other and how I've always been there for him and he'll be there for me. And um, it kind of like calmed me down and I got up the hill. And I was thinking about that. Like our business is kind of like a hill. Like we have to work hard. And a lot of days it feels like we're walking uphill. And I would guess that it's not just, I feel like I've been walking uphill for 6 years. And I would guess that even when you get to the top, like Melissa, you still have days where you're like, it seems like a hill. It's not always just flat. And so, what I loved, and I guess what I want to challenge us all with is um, who do we know that needs help one day? Like they need help getting up their hill that day. Who can we reach out to? And a lot of times it's either our sideline people or sometimes our downline, sometimes our upline, but I I just feel like we can be that person to reach out to someone. And who is our sister-in-law, I guess, who's our person that's going to reach out to us to help us get up our hills? And so I'm just so thankful that there's that analogy of um, who can I help today? Because some days I might struggle, some days I might not, but we all go through it. So I would challenge us to reach out to those people that we know need help getting up their hill. So that's my analogy of how my whole wedding day, my fairy tale wedding day, kind of it made me think of the business and how it's all beautiful. Like you get up to the top and it's beautiful, but it's still better to do it with each other.
Wow, that's beautiful. I love that. And happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you. We will have a date tonight. It's been a while. So we're excited to go to dinner. So with that, we can go ahead and carry on into the Power 30. I haven't really been looking at the chat, but if you guys have something that you're grateful for, go ahead and you can share that or you can put it in the chat. Definitely, I'm grateful for 4 years of marriage and um, my family. I'm grateful that we're going to get to go out to dinner tonight. And Dawn's anniversary is on Saturday, 28 years. That's amazing. Happy anniversary to Dawn. I'm grateful to April, my sideline sister that gets me up the hill most days. I don't know what we'd do without each other.
I'm grateful for just how our team rallies and how our belief, I feel like our belief is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. I really do every single day. And I'm incredibly grateful for whenever we have events like last night that everyone rallied, like everyone did their best to have people there. And the ones that they weren't able to make it, we now have beautiful follow up. But I think bottom line is the things that happen behind the scenes of anything that we do is this team. And it's the belief of this team, the support of this team, and them, you know, believing enough to have people there with us. And I see our team changing a lot. And so I'm incredibly grateful for that. I'm grateful that we all continue to get up the hill. And I love that analogy, but I think we're able to, because we do have sister-in-laws that come along, those sideline sisters that come along and remind us of why we're even, making that journey. So
That's great. I agree. And Marley's thankful that God sees blessings and possibilities that she doesn't see. All right. Well, thank you guys for that. I think we'll go ahead and transition into the part where we want to go ahead and look at our back office. So take a few minutes, get to your back office, look at your points for today, and hopefully you're comparing them to last month already. Look at your credit card declines, anything that looks like it could be an issue, reach out to those people. Go ahead and look at your perks report. And let's see. So my points are kind of in line with last month. And that actually, when I look at that, I know I have a few that might fall off later. So I still believe there's a gap. So I need to look at where I can make up that gap. So I'll mute for just a couple minutes and come back. All right, that went kind of fast, but I'll go ahead and we'll talk about the next section, which is our reach outs. And definitely, Melissa talked about a contest for the follow-up. So what we definitely want to focus on is follow-up from last night. Even if you had people that wanted to join but were busy, continue to do that follow-up. I know I had a few that couldn't make it, so we want to follow up. I'm not aware of any other events on our team in the next few days, but if anybody knows of anything coming up, let us know. Anything that we can be inviting our friends to. So I think that was the last event for the month, and then we just have one more week, and July is flying by. So that was it for events, but this next section, just spend time following up, reaching out. I have actually some good reach outs to do. I mentioned, was it a couple days ago, about my LinkedIn post and everybody that was commenting. So I've been working on building those relationships, and there's been a couple people that have said, I've asked them if they're interested in hearing more, and a couple people have responded. So now it's like stage two. But if you have put some of those business posts up in the last week, the last 6 days of business posts, kind of look through that too, because those are the people, even if they didn't comment, maybe they liked the post, and somebody that you could reach out to just to start a conversation. So I'll be back. We will be back in a few more minutes, and think about what kind of wins you have to share. All right, we're in the last 5 minutes. And you guys can continue to do your reach outs as the time goes on, but I wanted to give us an opportunity to share any wins. Let's see, I bet there's some from last night. I have one. I don't think I shared it. I don't think I shared it since last week, but I had a friend that reached out. The only conversation I had with her on social media was, hey, it's great to be connected. And that was all I'd really said. And that was about 6 months ago. And she was watching me post. And I think something about just being more present as a mom caught her attention. And so she reached out to me, was interested in Plexus. We had a phone call. It's probably been at least a week ago. And I just gave her more information, and her kids are little. And so I gave her more information. I gave her some resources. She wanted to make sure she felt comfortable with nursing and Plexus. And she did put her order through yesterday. And so that was she signed up as a preferred customer, which is kind of exciting because I think it gives her time to build the belief and then share with friends. By September, it could be an amazing story. So I just love how, like, I just continue to show up and people do notice. Sometimes we forget that they're watching. So that was a nice reassurance for me. Any other wins?
Well, I had somebody come to the event last night, so that was good.
That's great.
I was going to say that one of my ambassadors never shares about Plexus at all. She had shared about her weight loss, didn't say Plexus, but she was asked, and that's when she had mentioned Plexus. And she was open to being on the Zoom call last night, but she said, she messaged me, she was having trouble with her Zoom. It kept shutting down. So I'm just glad that though she was open to wanting to hop on. So once I have a few minutes, I'll send her the recording for it, because she shares all these other little cute businesses that she does, nails, different things, but she's been consistently using Plexus products for over 2 years. And so it was like the first time that she actually said Plexus. So I was like, you go, girl. Hey, let's get more involved. So I didn't like vomit on her, but so I'm just like dripping on her. I sent her a recording of sharing stories with Cindy and her daughter and Michelle's preferred customer. And so just kind of getting her feet kind of back into the game. So she was open and thankful. And so I hope to hear more from her. But so I kind of feel like that's a win, because she's not been open before even as a wholesale ambassador, or even saying Plexus. So I'm like, maybe little by little. So I feel like it's a baby step win for that ambassador. So
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Anybody else? I know Dawn put an announcement in the chat about the book club on Saturday, so make sure that everybody remembers that. It is something, as you mentioned, it is something good you can invite people to also. I think that they see the Plexus community, it's hard to explain, but once you see it, it makes sense. Anybody else want to share a win?
I'll share real quick if you can hear me since we're driving, but I was in the bed the other night and got a message from a friend who was on the call last night. I had messaged her 2 years ago that day, because when she messaged me, I just happened to look back to when our conversation started. And I messaged, and she didn't comment 2 years ago and kept a relationship. Of course, we've known each other for years. And out of the blue, she said, hey, I've been wanting to ask you about the business and the products. And so just encouragement, kind of like, I think Miss, was it Terry Mueller the other day, just her patience and consistency was the key that she shared. And they are watching, like Reagan just said, they are watching. They may not be commenting, they may not be liking a post, but if we're consistent and they're seeing that we've not left, we've not stopped, I think it's just encouragement for us, to stay being consistent, even on those days when we don't really feel like it. So she was on the call, was in the through with Michelle and I last night, and I have a coffee set with her on Sunday, so I'm excited about that. And just like Dawn, I don't want to vomit on her, but just dripping. Obviously for 2 years I've been dripping, but so hopefully it'll be a conversation that that ends with her taking that next step. So.
Yay, I love that. How exciting. Well, it's right at 10 o'clock. So if nobody else has anything they want to share, we can go ahead and say goodbye for now. Thank you guys for joining. We'll see you later.